Today on SAU News, a campus stalker was arrested this week, creating widespread safety concerns.
The community came together to give retiring gym master Coach Schwarz the ride of his life.
These stories and more coming up.
SAU News starts now.
Welcome to SAU News. I'm Aaron Patterson.
And I'm Josue Vega. Our weekly newscast is brought to you by the School of Journalism and Communication. A female student shares her story after Collegedale Police arrest a man for stalking her on campus.
She feels the university should do more to keep students safe. Reporter Christine Magnuson has been following the story and joins us here in the studio.
Hey, Christine.
Hi.
So there's a lot to cover here in this story.
Yes.
But fill us in on the latest.
Well, we interviewed the woman who was the target of the suspect, and while she's been through a lot, she is sharing her story to help others be vigilant.
Police say the alleged stalker visited the campus several times this spring. In one incident, the female victim told police she walked out of the dorm to discover the white male standing by her car. When he retrieved a backpack from his own vehicle and reached inside, she ran back to the dorm. The suspect fled the scene. Another time, the suspect told the police he was staring at her through the windows of the Holsey Wellness Center. In yet another incident, the victim says the suspect was so bold, he followed her into Wright Hall.
All the way up to the school cafeteria, where he chose a nearby table to watch her and her friends eat their lunch. This is one of many times she recognized him lurking. He was caught by the police, but is now out on bail.
The university's surveillance cameras helped local law enforcement identify the suspect as 39-year-old Paul Michael Germain from Ottawa. He has no affiliation with the university. In an exclusive interview with SAU News, the female victim, who wished not to be identified on camera, says she is still traumatized by the events.
It makes me feel really uncomfortable. I find myself always looking around. Any guy that sort of matches his description really flips me out, especially when I'm not on campus. It really makes me feel really unsafe.
Collegedale Police praised the victim and say she did the right thing.
I think she did the right thing by going and finding a public place and not going to her car, so that was very smart. Having someone know where you are and where you're going helps too, that accountability, and then having somebody on the phone. So as she was walking to the cafeteria from her car, maybe getting somebody on the phone, just, hey, just stay on the phone with me for a second so I know everything's okay.
A campus safety officer told us that if at any time a student feels unsafe, they are welcome to call and get a free escort ride to their cross-campus destination, especially after dark.
If you feel unsafe and need a transport, here's Campus Safety's number, 236-2100. An SAU spokesperson told Adventist Today the university will be launching an emergency alert app that provides students and employees with a fast, one-touch method to contact the police.
So, Christine, I understand that the suspect was known to authorities for previous suspicious behavior?
Yes, Collegedale Police said a school resource officer at Ottawa High School charged Germain with trespassing after he was discovered filming cheerleaders and acting strangely. 3 years ago, he was also asked to leave the UTC campus for videotaping college women.
Where is Germain now?
Germain is in Ottawa. He's free on a $35,000 bond and faces an August court hearing in Collegedale. Police tell us he is banned from Southern's campus.
Wow. Thank you so much, Christine.
Thank you.
A large group of university faculty and staff are retiring this year. Among them, Gym Master Coach Richard Schwarz, which we reported previously. But what's new about his story is what happened when Gym Master's alumni got together to give Coach a special gift. Former students raised more than $60,000 in just over a week to present Coach Schwarz with a brand new Ford F-150 pickup truck. The group also presented the more than $7,000 in cash. More than 100 people showed up for the special presentation to show their love and appreciation. In retirement, Coach Schwarz says he'll be traveling across the U.S. visiting friends and former students. So I donated $5, and that
Amazing.
special $5 contribution for 20 years, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, it seems
Pretty
like the
good.
least you can do, right?
Yeah, he was awesome, so.
Great Gym Masters shows for sure. Another faculty member entering retirement is one of our long-standing professors in the School of Journalism and Communication. After 21 years of serving and teaching, Dr. Pamela Harris leaves a great legacy of mentoring students and public relations graduates. Dr. Harris has achieved many titles, worked various positions, and written countless articles. She's also published a lot of research in strategic communication. Throughout the week, staff and students have shown their appreciation and love to Dr. Harris in the form of gifts, letters, speeches, hugs, and 2 different celebrations.
As some faculty say goodbye, we say hello to a new coordinator in the university's counseling center. As the semester started, when new projects developed, Amy Ortiz-Moretta joined the counseling center with new energy and ideas. Since then, she has been very busy in coordinating events, programs, as well as helping out students. During this summer, she will direct training of Resident Hall Resident Assistants, or RAs, first-year experience mentors, and many other campus leaders. Amy works every day to remind the students they don't need to face their challenges alone. Counseling services are here with free resources that can be found on Southern's website. In the fall, Amy plans to collaborate with various departments to host Mental Health Awareness Week, suicide prevention, and other events.
This Sunday, the university celebrates the school year's end with the Strawberry Festival. But already the show's producer for next year, 2023, has been selected. Senior Mass Communications student Xander Ordinola will produce next year's festival. The annual year-end event chronicles the school year with pictures and videos of events and student life on campus. For more than 30 years, the Strawberry Festival has been one of Southern's most popular events, and Xander is already planning for next year.
I already have like a million ideas and a million possibilities that are running through my head. The biggest thing, I want to make sure that the food is good. Like, people want good food, and like I want to provide that to people. Also fireworks. I feel like fireworks is a great attraction.
The Strawberry Festival also marks the release date of Southern Memories, the university's yearbook. The essay is still searching for next year's editor. Applications can be found on the essay website. So we both know and love Xander, and his idea to bring good food and fireworks.
Xander always pulls it off, so if he wants fireworks, there will be fireworks.
I'm excited to see that.
Last summer, Southern film students had the opportunity to work on a full-length feature film. Elise Deschamps has the story.
With scenes from Southern's culinary kitchen to a local bowling alley, the production team consisted of around 30 film students working 10 to 12-hour days all of last June.
The film is called All the Wrong Ingredients, and it's about a young chef who enters a competition at a prestigious restaurant to basically reinvent the dessert menu at the restaurant. As he leans further and further into his cooking, the other parts of his life sort of start getting out of balance, and so he ends up having to make a series of choices throughout the film about where he's going to put his identity.
The crew, most of whom had never worked on a feature film before, had the opportunity to learn on a variety of rigs, such as the tulip crane, the partner dolly, and even a stunt setup. We're here in the post-production suite on the second floor of Brock Hall because the film is in its post-production stage. So here is where they do the color grading, they do the visual effects, and if we go this way into the sound studio, this is where they're going to be doing sound design to really bring up the level of the production. As the school year comes to a close, producers will finish editing and work on distribution efforts throughout the summer. Script supervisor Nicole Sabot says the highlight of production was the community that was created.
After 2 days, you become so close with everyone, and it's like you've known them forever, and a lot of those people I hadn't known at all, and now I work with them all the time this school year on different projects, and it was really a good time for networking and forming good relationships.
Hey, that's a wrap on the movie, everybody.
For SAU News, I'm Elise Deschamps.
For classical music fans, this time of year brings lots of concerts on campus. SAU Symphony Orchestra presented their last concert for the school year. Led by conductor Lori Redmer Cadwallader and first violinist Cameron Wilcox, the symphony performed Gustav Holst's The Planets. The work is a 7-movement suite that musically portrays the planets and their mythological characters. The orchestra also performed works by Edward Elgar and William Kraft for the large audience that came out to support them. SAU Symphony Orchestra performs a series of 6 concerts annually on campus.
Just about every student at Southern must enroll in a speech class in order to graduate. Reporter Noah Bynum discovered one speech professor who is challenging his students to deliver a persuasive TED Talk, just like the ones you've seen on YouTube.
COM 135, Communication and Public Speaking, or just speech. The class is known by many names, and for some it's their first and only taste of what the School of Journalism and Communication has to offer. And Professor Pablo Fernandez and his class makes an impact.
For most speech courses, all you have to do is go up to the front of the class and do your speech. However, it's a little different for Pablo's class. Professor Pablo's classes have their very own TED Talk style speeches right here in the TV studio.
One of my goals as professors of this class is try to remove this fear towards public speaking and allow the students to discover themselves as their way to communicate as communicators in their own skills. And starting from there, growing them in different scenarios, working in groups, working with narratives, working in professional settings like this one, and start seeing themselves and build that confidence as communicators and how they can apply that skill into their professional careers later.
But how did students feel about this new style of teaching?
Yes, I did like the studio portion of it.
That was the best part.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like, I don't know, people coming in and presenting their ideas. I really like that.
Yes, going in the back and like operating with the cameras and with the script. I loved that so much.
Pablo ended his class with reflections on the semester and encouraging words for the future. With SVAD News, I'm Noah Bynum.
The spirit of entrepreneurship is strong at Southern. One of our very own reporters, Elise Deschamps, runs her own thrifting startup. Reporter Brandon Bell dropped in a recent pop-up market.
For many college students, finances can be a struggle. Fortunately, thrift shopping is more popular than ever, and for good reason. Not only is it a great way to save money, but you can also look stylish while doing it. But for Elise Deschamps and friends, thrifting is much more than a hobby. It's a business.
I used to only do I used to only do photo shoots, and those are really fun, and I still love them. But I started doing pop-ups last summer in my hometown, and they were super successful. And I had friends from here who wanted me to bring it to school, to Southern, and to Chattanooga. So I just started having pop-ups here.
Yo, that's cool.
Yeah.
Tell me about this one. In addition to selling her own clothing, Elise also partners with other student businesses. This is a win-win for everyone because it means more variety for the consumer and more exposure for other student entrepreneurs. This time, Paula joined the market to provide coffee for the shoppers.
I just started selling it this semester, going to pop-ups and stuff. Elise got me involved in it here, and then I started finding a couple other ones in Chat area because it's pretty popular. And yeah, I just kind of picked up from there.
For someone who knows nothing about fashion, thrifting can be an overwhelming experience. Luckily, there were some experts who were able to help me out.
And when I first started, I wanted more of a streetwear type vibe, and those clothes you find more in H&M, Forever 21, Zara, which are very pricey. So in order to combat the price, I wanted to go cheaper, so I started thrifting. But thrifting is a very different style of clothing. It's more indie and kind of flowy, old and vintage. But when I actually tried the clothes on, I was like, this is cute,
Elise herself actually helped me pick out this sweater, and I like it a lot. So don't be intimidated if you're new to this kind of thing. Everyone there is very helpful and understanding. Overall, the final pop-up was a huge success. Elise recently bought a van to do business out of, and she says it's been a dream come true. With SAU News, I'm Brandon Bell.
If you'd like to know when more markets are happening, email Elise for more info.
Elise is so good at setting up one of those pop-up events, making it look good, bringing in the community. She has nailed that niche market.
She really has, and the amount of money that people spend on it is insane. It's just such an untapped market.
International students can feel a little bit more at home in the Bietz Ctr. Just look up and you might see your home country's flag. Each flag means we have at least one student from that country on campus. In total, 37 countries around the world are represented, including the Cayman Islands, Peru, Hungary, and Côte d'Ivoire. The strongest presence of international students comes from Canada and Korea, with 14 and 11 respectively. The international student population continues to grow. We have 131 on the Collegedale campus and many more students with 2 or more ethnicities. The Dark Ages may be behind us, but here's a group on campus that are keeping the ancient art of blacksmithing alive. Here's my story. If you visit the warehouse behind campus safety, you will find a dedicated group of modern blacksmiths hammering away. I'm here in the parking lot next to campus safety on what might seem like a fairly peaceful spring evening. What you don't know is that a group known as the Southern Blacksmith Club, or Southern Smiths, is up in the woods behind me down this path, working loud and proud on several blacksmithing projects as they do every Thursday from 6 to 10 p.m. To find the blacksmiths, walk up the gravel path by the campus safety parking lot. Then take a right and follow the gravel road until you hear the sound of clanging metal and enthusiastic working. I met Ben, a former Southern student who is now a sponsor of the Southern Smiths, and he gave me a tour of the facility.
All right, so the first thing you'll see is we have a lot of anvils. These are the main tools that we use to actually make stuff, and this is a propane forge. It runs off of a large propane tank. This forge itself is probably from the early 1900s. That is hot enough to melt metal. The amazing part about blacksmithing is you can make tools to make tools to make what you need.
As I learned about all the things you can do with blacksmithing, I bumped into 2 other members of the club that shared their passions for Southern Smith.
I love blacksmithing. I've been doing it for about 13 years. It's so much fun. You can make anything you set your mind to. I wrote the blacksmithing honor for Pathfinders. I love teaching people, and it's so much fun. You've got to come try it.
I've been doing this since 2015, so I started here in my freshman year at Showcase. I went around, I saw a guy who was very stereotypical blacksmith looking, and he was just standing there at the booth, and he was like, "You want to make a knife?" And I'm like, "Sure, why not?" And then I've been stuck with the club ever since.
While most people think blacksmiths are just destructive and coarse, that is not the case.
I'm Dusty Miller, or at least that's what everybody knows me as. One of the young men at one time, he's now in Montana. He was a nursing major. He made the statement that, "I can't believe that they let us come up here and pound on this. I take all my frustrations out, I go home, and when I go back to the dorm, I'm relaxed, and I have something for my girlfriend that she has, that she wants, and you know, it's just really nice to be able to do that."
They may spend their evenings beating iron with a hammer, but they still have hearts of gold. For SAU News, I'm Aaron Patterson. The Southern Smiths invite visitors who may want to learn more about blacksmithing to come and join them.
Well, Aaron, so like how many people are in the blacksmithing club?
Sure, so there were, like 15 people when I was there that night, 15 to 20, but
Wow.
different groups cycle in every week, so they have constant people coming in and out.
That's a lot more than I would have expected.
It's a big group. SAU News is a production of the television and news production class here in Southern School of Journalism and Communication. I'm Aaron Patterson.
And I'm Josue Vega. Today's show is our last newscast of the semester, but SAU News will be back in the fall with more stories.
Until then, thank you so much for watching and have a great summer.